Champion jockeys Mick Dittman and Jim Cassidy were injured after falling in a dramatic Blue Diamond Stakes at Caulfield. Dittman has a suspected broken arm and Cassidy a broken rib. The race caused a stir when the odds-on favourite Razor Rhythm was beaten by its stablemate. The earlier event, Status took out the first, leading all the way, a perfect ride by Michael Clark. The second went to Princess Pushy, first up since November. She ran home strongly. The favourite Gamine put in a poor one. The third went to Tassuti, backed in from 20 to 1 into 12 to 1. The first of the features, the Futurity Bureaucracy favourite.
They'll fight it out. Riddell to the inside, won't give in. He's kicked away from Bureaucracy. Dittman trying to reach the leader, but Redelva's still in front, and Redelva all the way from Bureaucracy. Third Planet Ruler coming from last.
The evergreen Redelva, too good for the 3-year-old Bureaucracy. Now the Blue Diamond and trouble mid-race.
Now Canonise trying to drive up on the inside and join Noble Answer at the 600. Oh, one's come down. Did he do it? Has fallen. Did he do it? And Lady Purpose got into trouble, has lost the rider. They come to the turn now. Canonise the inside and Noble Lancer. Irises and Chief Hunter are just behind them. Round the outside, Umatilla. Then Razor Rhythm when they set sail for home. Canonise into the straight, just the leader from Noble Lancer. Down the outside, Umatilla is coming with her run with Iris's Chief Headhunter squeezing through now. It's Umatilla the outside going up with Chief Headhunter. Canonise fighting back. Canonise fighting back on the rails. Canonise in front of Umatilla. Canonise wins it. Canonise 3/4 Umatilla. Chief Headhunter 2.5 away third.
The odds-on favourite Razor Rhythm slipped and missed the start. Her effort to run fourth was very good. But when you train a team as strong as David Hayes does, it's not all over in the first 200 metres.
After the first furlong, I just hung my head down, but by the time I looked up, Canonise was in front, so it was nice to have two good chances in a big race.
And for jockey Peter Hutchinson, a win in his first ride in the Blue Diamond. And he tipped a big future for Canonise.
I think on this win today he's going to be good and only going to be improved on it too. I think he's going to be better over more ground and as an older horse.
Well, Colin Hayes won it for the third time last year. Son David for the first time today. Triscay favourite, Canny Lad disappointing in the next.
Triscay went past the 200 under the whip from Clark. Drew 2 or 3 lengths in front. Durbridge running a big race in second spot. Followed by My Eagle Eye, but this grand filly Triscay is going to win it. And Triscay scores by 2 lengths to Durbridge. Third placing went to My Eagle Eye. And then
so compensation for Michael Clark, who picked up the winning ride on Triscay. And Darren Gauchi got the late ride on Prince Salieri.
But Prince Salieri's going the better inside the 200-metre mark. Took the lead soon after from Louis Saint-Fajou. And a gap in the field to River's Edge. But Prince Salieri's coming away for a good win. And Prince Salieri for Gauchi will score by 2 lengths to Louis Saint-Fajou. Favoured Boy came from last to get third. Then Star of Mark.
Prince Salieri racing in top form, won 3 in a row now. Savage Tosser flopped, the 7-4 favourite. And the last went to Dark Bow. First win since mid-89, but it hasn't done a lot of racing and returned to form very well. Daily double today, 1 and 2, 20.25. The extra 3 and 1, 36.05. Quadrella, 583.60 for double 172. And the quad extra 172 and 3 paid $326.40. It was a great day of racing, Sue, and that wraps it up.
Greg, thank you. See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Now the weather.
Welcome back to Sports World. It was a dramatic day at Caulfield yesterday with the Blue Diamond Stakes. At one stage, it was hard to know where to look. The favourite missed the start. There was an horrific fall with 600 metres to run. Canonise looked sure to be beaten, and he got up and won. Keith Hillier, it was just one of those races, wasn't it? It was very sad to see Mick Dittman and Jim Cassidy involved in that fall.
Yes, it was indeed, the 2 top Sydney riders coming down, Bruce, but the news is encouraging this morning. I've telephoned both boys. Mick Dittman's arm is not broken. It's severely bruised. Apparently a horse trod on it, and he was in so much pain that even the medicos thought there was a break for sure. But it is not broken, and he is hopeful of riding in the Newmarket next Saturday, Joanne, and the Australian Cup Citizen. So, boy, he's a tough cookie, and Jim Cassidy's report is good also. No breakages there, but Jim also is bruised and shaken, and he landed on his chin, and he has a tongue that's 3 times normal size.
Well, I reckon they would have been bruised and shaken too a couple of races later, because Triscay won, Dittman was going to ride.
Yes.
And then Cassidy's mount Prince Salieri.
Yes.
Yeah, the Carlyon Cup. So they've missed out. I mean, in that case, Keith, they'd get paid the percentages, wouldn't they?
Probably an arrangement there with the owners that the percentage might be split between the jockey who rode the winner and the jockey who should have ridden the winner. But Bruce, I thought that there was further bad luck, that Lady Purpose was going to be right in the finish of the Blue Diamond. She was absolutely bolting when the trouble occurred.
So that was the mount for Dittman, I agree, because we expected her to get back in the field and then run on, but she was so well placed. It's a credit to Dittman, the jockey, to have put her in that position.
Yes, and that view of mine also is shared with by the Freedman stable. I was with them last night, and they were naturally disappointed for Mick and the fillies' fall, but they also thought that they may have won a Blue Diamond had that fall not occurred.
Well, let's go to Caulfield and the big race of the day, the Blue Diamond Stakes.
David Hayes and Lee Freedman looked to dominate the Blue Diamond on paper. Hayes had 3 top runners, including Canonise and the favourite Razor Rhythm, whilst Freedman had Chief Headhunter and the very promising Lady Purpose. Lady Purpose, unfortunately, was involved in a horrific fall with about 600 metres to run. She was the first to come down, and then Did He Do It came over the top of her.
And there's a fall back in the field, a couple down there back in the field as they round the home turn. Noble Lancer on the outside, Canonise the leaders from Iris is in behind them. Chief Headhunter, Umatilla wide on the track, and Sentimental Ruler further back, followed by Razor Rhythm. They straighten up. Canonise on the inside is being tackled by Noble Lancer, Irises, and down the outside, Umatilla joining in, and Chief Headhunter there, followed by Razor Rhythm. Did He Do It was one of those that came down. Halfway down the running now, Canonise has got a run on the inside. Umatilla is coming after Canonise. Canonise in front in the Blue Diamond. Canonise hanging on. Canonise. Canonise by a half length to Umatilla. Third home is Chief Headhunter.
David Hayes' father Colin had won the Blue Diamond way back in 1976 with Out of Danger, in 1987 with Midnight Fever, and again last year with Mahassan. It was the first ride in the race for Peter Hutchinson. His father, Ron, is one of the most famous jockeys in Australian racing history, and the pair were absolutely delighted and on top of the world after the win.
As you said, no show without punch. Yep. Guess who's popped in? Ron Hutchison. I suppose you're the proudest dad on the racetrack today.
The best, isn't he? The best? So proud of you. It's terrific.
Could you have ridden like that?
No.
I doubt it too.
But I really thought he was a chip off the old block, really.
Really? He said you'd be taking all the credit, and here you are doing just that.
No, that's lovely. No, it was a great ride. Yeah, terrific.
Well, it's a lovely scene. Yeah. Father and son, 2 great champs.
Yeah,
well done, boys.
Thanks, Keith. Thank you.
Ron and Peter Hutchinson. The interesting thing with Peter is that I think it was widely expected he wouldn't make it as a jockey 3 or 4 years ago, and he's defied all the odds, and he's now one of the most successful riders in Australia.
Yes, I think that's fair comment, as cruel as you might sound, Bruce, but people said he's Ron Hutchison's son. He's with Colin Hayes, and that's why he got that job there. But he's proved that he can do it alone, and he's not only won the Blue Diamond at his first ride in it, he may go on and give the Golden Slipper a shake at his first ride in that race.
Well, Canonise wasn't going to run in the Blue Diamond. He only ran because he wasn't nominated. His sire wasn't nominated for the sire. So are you saying that Canonise has a chance in the Golden Slipper?
Well, I think he'd have some sort of a chance. I mean, David Hayes must have thought that the jockeys got their colours mixed because he expected the filly Razor Rhythm to lead, Canonise to be running on, as you mentioned, being a 1400-metre type horse, and their positions were reversed when Razor Rhythm missed the start, and I wonder if that cost her the race.
It could have. She hurt herself. I know Michael Clark spoke to you afterwards. She hurt herself and didn't do herself any justice, but I've got a feeling the Sydney 2-year-olds might be superior. I may be wrong.
Yes.
The Futurity Stakes yesterday, Rodelva, what a wonderful horse he is. They bet 8-1. And he didn't let his supporters down. He led all the way. It's his first victory at Caulfield, and it really was one of his best wins.
600 metres out, still Rodelva making play by a length and a half. Bureaucracy in the box leader. A length and a half, Arc Regal on the outside there of Stylish Century, and there followed then over on the outside by Medicine Kid and Mr. Till and Platted Ruler last of all, about 5 lengths off the leaders. They come around the home turner. Rodelva leads the field into the straight about a length. Bureaucracy down the outside is running on well, and Planet Ruler getting up along the inside, and Stylish Century is deeper on the track. Rodelva being tackled by Bureaucracy in the final stages. Rodelva battling on courageously. He's still in front, Rodelva. Bureaucracy can't get to him. Rodelva's still the leader. Rodelva will lead all the way. Rodelva's won the Futurity brilliantly from Bureaucracy. Planet Ruler third.
Rodelva's victory in the Futurity Stakes took his stake winning to more than $1.5 million. The grand 7-year-old has won 20 of his 44 starts, and in his most recent wins has been ridden by the farmer from Camperdown, Neville Wilson.
Yes, I was a little bit worried just after we straightened when Bureaucracy come to me, but I found plenty of the big horse. He drew away. He was too strong at the finish.
Did you know that it was Bureaucracy giving chase?
Yes, I thought it was Bureaucracy, and I thought I wondered to myself where Planet Ruler was, but I couldn't see him, but I knew it was Bureaucracy.
Well, he's a no-fuss jockey and a no-fuss person, Neville Wilson, but he must have been pretty happy after that.
Sure, Bruce. And Rodelva, a 7-year-old, being chased by an exciting 3-year-old colt, less than half his age, and Mick Dittman gave Bureaucracy the perfect trail, the beautiful sit, and we all thought he'd sweep past Rodelva, but boy, what courage. And question asked after the race by Connections, was that race penalty free for the Newmarket? Of course it is, and he'll run next week, although the Connections say they want to draw outside barrier 10.
And will Planet Ruler run in the Newmarket as well?
I don't know. Decision during the week, Bruce. Bureaucracy won't. He'll go to Sydney now.
Well, one of the other big races at Caulfield was the Tattersalls Classic. It seemed to be a clash between Canny Lad and Triscay.
Canny Lad had been sold yesterday morning to the Ingham brothers of New South Wales, and he raced in their familiar cerise colours. Darren Gauchi got the ride for the injured Jim Cassidy, and Michael Clark was aboard Triscay in place of Mick Dittman.
With about 550 metres left to go, Big Colony being tackled quickly by Triscay on the outside, who's made a very fast runner. My Eagle Eye is third, followed by Durbridge, and Kenny Ladders back behind them. Then Big Dermot, followed by the Strategist as they straighten up. Triscay has moved up on the outside to hit the front from Big Colony. Down the outside, Durbridge running on well, followed by My Eagle Eye, and Kenny Ladders struggling. But Triscay has dashed away with 100 metres left to go. She's well clear of Durbridge, and then My Eagle Eye and Big Colony. Triscay is the leader close to home. She's a bonny filly. She's much too good, Triscay. And Triscay won by a length and a half. Durbridge, My Eagle Eyes run third.
Whilst Clark was disappointed for Dittman, he was absolutely wrapped in the victory of Triscay, his first ride on the filly.
You know, very unfortunate for Mick, but you don't like to see anyone fall or get hurt, and you know, that's probably the ups and downs of racing, and I was just fortunate. I never had a ride in the race, and you know, I was only too pleased. Alan Denham asked me to ride her, and you know, it's Mick's bad luck, but you know, those things do happen.
Well, she goes for the Alistair Clark Stakes, then on to Sydney. What about Canny Lad? What's his future?
Firstly, Bruce, on the filly, I think she should go for the Derby, not the Oaks. Yeah. She's the best around. Canny Lad, I don't know, a little hiccup there. There also was a pre-race regularity found in a sample, so there'll be an inquiry into that during the week. His long-term future is at stud. The reported price was $2 million. Tony Meaney wrote that in the Sunday Sun here this morning. He will replace the Star Watch at Woodland Stud. But I don't know where he'll race now. I thought that was very disappointing, and I don't know whether we should blame Caulfield, a track that he has failed on before.
I think he's a non-stayer. I know he ran a place in the Cox Plate with no weight on his back. I think he's a sprinter miler.
Yes, I agree with that, because his win over 1,400 metres was a crushing win, wasn't it? The margin was 3.5 lengths, and he just destroyed the opposition. But when he gets a little further, all his brilliance is missing.
I reckon he should have been in the Futurity yesterday, or maybe even the Newmarket next week. But
taking out a trainer's licence, Bruce, are we?
It's easy from here, isn't it?
Rick Horlache is going to enjoy us telling him how to train a great horse. He hasn't done too badly.
No, he's won $2 million. You've done a great job, Rick.
Imagine what it would have done in our hands, that horse.
It'd been in the paddock for about 12 years. The Carlyon Cup, the next track record for Prince Saleri, heavily back Savage Toss.
And Luis on Bijou by 2 lengths in advance now. Prince Saleri running on in second place, followed by Star of Marquis, River's Edge. Savage Toss under plenty of pressure as they straighten up. Luis on Bijou first into the straighter, about to be tackled by Prince Saleri, who's coming after him down the outside. They're clear of Star of Marquis and Savage Toss behind them, River's Edge. Prince Saleri on the outside has hit the front past the 100 from Luis on Bijou, River's Edge, Star of Marquis, and back behind them Coachman's Chill, but it's Prince Saleri. And Prince Saleri is racing home to win it well. Prince Saleri's won it. About 2.5 lengths, Luis on Bijou. Favoured boys come from last to get third.
Well, the thought now is that Prince Saleri may tackle Better Loosen Up in the Australian Cup.
He is, but he's not in Better Loosen's class, but by the same token, he's only 2 or 3 lengths behind them. He showed that as a 2-year-old in the Castlemaine Stakes at Eagle Farm, that he was pretty good. He's no horse is racing better than him. That was an effortless win. I think the long-term goal, Bruce, is the Caulfield Cup, and that is a race that George Hanlon has come so close to winning, but he keeps getting beat in the shortest of photo finishes.
Savage Toss?
Oh, I don't know what to make of him. That was a very disappointing effort. Very disappointing.
Didn't fire a shot, did he, after a great run last week in the St George Stakes. Let's go to Sydney, the Canterbury Guineas, Group 1, a very impressive performance by St Jude.
Up the hill, about 500 metres out, and Be Happy is joined by Centro on the outside. St Jude is tucked away on the fence. Stradmore's had every hope, although he'll have to go 4 deep on the corner. At the head of the others, Pre-Record, followed well back by Cup Caper, and then Shot of Comfort and All Mine as they turn the corner. It's Be Happy, Centro and St Jude. Stradmore can't go on at the moment, followed by Lord Revener. St Jude hit the front, 150 out, and the little horse shot clear. St Jude has raced away from Be Happy, followed by Centro and Stradmore, but it's all St Jude in the last bit. He's careering away and he wins the Guineas in a trot. St Jude beat the fast finishing Lord Revener. Stradmore third, only plodded to the line.
A little bit of trivia. His mother, Out of Danger, won the Blue Diamond 11 years ago. Does that mean the 3-year-olds in Melbourne are better than they are in Sydney at the moment because he couldn't run a place in the Australian Guineas?
It's an indication, isn't it, Bruce? Also, the trainer Bruce McLaughlin, who is having his best season, he won the Oakley Plate with me, is going to bypass the AJC Derby because he feel St Jude is not, like Kenny Ladd, a genuine star. So do you think Bruce McLaughlin's right? Have you got some advice for Bruce in Brisbane?
No advice for Bruce. I think he's going... And Rick, I didn't really mean it, actually. Canterbury Stakes, what a race that was yesterday with Show County and All Archie. Stride for stride, wasn't it exciting? Yes,
an exciting finish. The jockey on All Archie claimed that his saddle slipped a smidgen, and the trainer of Show County said there's more improvement and this will be the horse's best season. So a great race yesterday and more to come by the sounds of yesterday's reports. And I reckon more to come for Zabeel in third placing. Let's take a look at the Canterbury Stakes. Watch the two go hammer and tongs in front and watch Zabeel getting up on the fence.
All Archie, who pulled very hard, is just shading Show County. They're about 4 in front of From the Planet, followed by And Irish, Happy Sailing, and then Road to Glory and Zabeel. Heads a turn for home. All Archie on the outside and Show County. They're about 3 in front of From the Planet, starting to run on, followed by Road to Glory. All Archie and Show County are having a 2-horse war. The whips are out, although Wood's hands and heels on Show County. The little horse is fighting back. He's going to crack the million at last, Show County. Show County by a long head to All Archie. Zabeel has made up many lengths and might just get third in front of Road to Glory.
Well, Show County in very good form. The Skyline Stakes yesterday, the 2-year-old Colts and Gelding's Big Dreams made it 4 out of 4. Do you think he's a slipper horse?
Yes, he definitely is, Bruce. It was, he's unbeaten so far, and I think he can keep improving. Well, he's into second favourite now, Keith, after this performance, and who knows, he may challenge Bold Promise for favouritism.
They're tightly packed in the run to the turn, 400 out, and Benelate leads into the straight over Big Dreams in second place, Pockets third, and then So Closure, Red Poco, and right off the track, Beppa's Boy as they corner. Into the straight, Big Dreams immediately raced up to Benelate, and they're clear of Pockets running on, followed by Beppa's Boy, but Big Dreams shot clear with 100 to go, and it's all over bar the shouting, and Big Dreams is going to maintain his unbeaten record, and in 3 races so far, 3 winners to W. Harris. Big Dreams by nearly 4 lengths on the line to Pockets. Top Groom has run third.
Well, Brian Mayfield Smith has struggled a little as a trainer. He won the Golden Slipper in '87. He might have a Golden Slipper winner there in Big Dreams as we take a look at the market for the slipper.
Fine, Bruce. Bold Promise 2-1 favourite. Big Dream 6-1 second favourite. Cloudlet, and to use a racing cliche, Cloudlet is under a cloud with a colic problem. Razor Rhythm, Viennette, all on the third line there at 8-1.
And Canonizers into 10-1. We saw a very nasty fall at Caulfield yesterday. There was also an incident in Adelaide where Owen Ridge, the jockey, was very fortunate to get away with just a bruise to his ankle. We'll go to this race at the end. He was riding a horse called Divine Destiny. There's a 4th race on the program. Just take a look at this. Now, down he comes, gets caught up in the horse's reins, hangs on. He was very fortunate to get away with just a bruised ankle there. Pretty tough for the commentator there too, Ron Pepps, because I've called at Victoria Park and there's a steward's tower and you just can't see what happens after the line, so he had to really make it up, so to speak.
Yes, I watched that race on television yesterday and it was a sickening sight, wasn't it? I'm so pleased to hear your report, which I was unaware of, that the boy's okay.